Hello my fellow gamers and welcome once again to Pedophiles of Videos. Today I'm going to show you how to solve your traffic problems with an interchange that isn't actually an interchange. You're actually just going to interchange the lanes of the interstate or the highway and not actually make these things that you can see on the screen right now, which create those one lane interchanges that actually create lots of problems. So here you can see the standard interchange with the 3 lanes detaching into one lane, going on to the other side of the highway, then the other side of the highway creating a lane here that then goes into my city over here into this lane, while I took 2 of these lanes and connected them differently than it would be by default. Well, over here you can see that I made an additional change to this one, and it all revolves around there being just one lane from 3-lane highway on one side and 1 lane from the 3-way highway on the other side, which actually always ends up creating problems. And you can see that the entire map is designed this way, that wherever there's a place where you can actually build a city, those places have these interchanges, and they are kind of the weak link in the entire traffic system of this game. So I'm going to show you how to actually ignore this and create something totally different. You can see from the above view that this city is made in a T-intersection way, because there are no 4-way intersections, they are all T-intersections, and this is something that I want to keep doing and keep creating, but to go up I need to cross this highway. Now if I were to create this city with an interchange that has an entrance here, and then for example move this highway, straighten it out to go like this, and then have the rest of the city here, I would need another entrance and another interchange. But I want to do away with this system completely. I want to get rid of these interchanges and not have multiple of them, and have all these places where I have a huge amount of traffic trying to go through a single place, then funneling it around the city. I want the traffic to come in wherever it wants. So what do we do here? Well, let me show you. Pause the game, of course, and destroy this connection here. And I'm going to do this on a smaller scale, so just that I don't waste your time by making a huge section of this. And like I said, if I want to continue the way I've been building the city with the T intersections, I need to just build up this additional area here, and then I can show you how this is supposed to continue on forwards. So if we look over here, we see that these intersections here stop, but there is another one that would be built here. So if you look at this one would go here, then there's nothing here, and then this one goes here. So that means that this one would be going like this, and the streets are just parallel to this one. So if we go over here, we just need enough room for a 4x4 building to go back to back. So this would be it. And now I just make a few more of these, and then I can show you how this is actually going to look like once we add the highway to this. Alright, so the highway needs to go over here and then allow us to continue building our grid underneath it. So what do we need? First of all, we need to raise it up, because I haven't the ability to buy this area here. I have to leave it on the ground level here, but then I can go up where I have the ability to build. So I'm going to take the highway, take the curve for the moment, and then curve these two like this. Now I just need to change where this one is facing so that it can actually it's this one. Okay, now they're fine. But how do we continue up there and have the ability for cars to get in and out of the city without actually having an interchange? Well, this is how. First of all, we need to raise this up, like I said. So we're gonna go and raise this up 2 levels. So we're just gonna find the first opportunity where this actually wants to allow us to go to the second level, and this would be about here. Same thing with this one. So now that we've gone up 2 levels up, you can see that next time I make a street through here, I'm going to be able to go underneath it, and the city is going to be connected. I just need to miss the pillars, and there we go. I'm going to be able to connect the 2 parts of the city to each other while actually having the highway go above it. But that's not the whole point. The whole point is not to have an interchange, But how do we manage that? What you need to do is have this road go a little bit forward. Make sure to build it where you get the pillars on the highest distance. So you make sure that this is, for example, the distance that you have. So I just need to fix this up because they're kind of too close and I'm not going to be able to curve it up over it. So I'm just going to take this tool to make sure to actually get the ability to move them a little bit from each other. But I can do it the other way as well. I can just build it first, raised up, like so. There we go. And then I look back and just connect these two now with a small curve. Now I just need to turn this one about so that it follows the path. And so now I have two highways parallel to each other raised to level 2. From here on end, if I want my traffic to come off of this highway onto the left side of the city, I would have to have in the old design something going like this. But how about we do this but with the entire highway? So something like this. But again, we need the highway to continue going forward. So what we are going to do is we are going to curve it on the inside of it. We are going to drop down one level and do something like this. Then we are going to back curve it and have it go forward. So just a little bit of a curve and then like this. Now we can see that it's dropped down and it's enough space for this one to go above this one. So now we take the curve tool again and we just make sure to get the ability to curve it up and over this one. Like so. Now we have them interchanged. So you do not need an interchange, you just need to interchange the highways. Now from here on end, I can just keep going forward with this one. Make sure to create pillars that are at a very high distance from each other. For example, like this. And now from here, I can get my traffic down to these streets wherever I want it to. So I just need to take a ramp and get my traffic down below to my city. And I can do this multiple times if I want multiple ways of getting off. But I also can make an on-ramp. It's going to take the traffic away from the city and onwards onto this. So this is a way for the traffic that's coming into the city to get off the highway and get into the city, and it's also a way for the traffic to get onto this highway and go onto the other direction. But what do we do with the rest of it? So we go back to our curve tool. We straighten this out a little bit. And now we can go forward with this one. We can lower this part as well, because we do not need it to be so high if we want to go down for the other part of the city to have the same access to the highway. So we can go like this. And from here, we once again go forward. And now if we have the city on the other side of the highway, like this, let's find a spot where we can get a street through. There we go. So now imagine if I had another part of the city here with its own grid. Now I can get an off-ramp from this part of the highway down into this city and also up onto the highway. So now I have the ability to use these things on both sides of my city. But not only this, when the traffic is coming in, I seem to have forgotten to turn this about. Let me just fix this. So it needs to go out. There we go. Now, if the traffic wants to go onto this side, actually these are now on the opposite sides where they should be. So from here they would be going down like this, and from here they would be going up like this. But if the traffic wants to use this lane to get onto the left side of the city, looking at it from this perspective, it then uses this part and goes down. But if it wants to go up onto the highway, it uses this part. So now the same thing can be done on the other side through here, And now if this highway is used from here down towards, let's find a spot where we can put it down. There we go. And if it wants to go up on the highway, we can allow that as well. Just need to find a good spot for it. That's not going to be a good spot, so we can try and find something like this. There we go. And now, as you can see, you're pretty much not having an interchange, but you're actually having an interchange all over the place. But it's not wasting so much space, and it's allowing far more entrances and exits per, how should we call it, per tile maybe, than if you had one of these every tile or two per tile. This way you could have on and off ramps as far as the eye can see. So imagine if we continue building this over here, and I will show you something handy. I built this in the asset editor, and I have this placed on the Steam Workshop. It's called Paraphilosophy Highway Change Side, and you can see that this gives you the same ability to do what I just did manually, and depending on how you turn it, it depends on where you need it to go. So if we take a look at here, now that I've placed it, you can see that it's pretty much the same thing that I've created here, just a bit messier, and this wastes a bit less space. So now all I would need to do is just to connect this with the highway, and I'm done. Okay, these two parts have pillars which are too close, so we delete this part and probably this part as well, and we create a new path through here. There we go. So now we just made this a lot bigger and a lot longer, and we have far more of these on and on ramps. So now you can get the idea. If we zoom out, what this gives us. This gives us the ability for the vehicles to get on and off at every point along this highway, and not just on this one place where they're going to create a lot of traffic and then try to get from this point all the way something over here. And even if I had another interchange here, it would still mean that there are just two exits and entrances for a city of this size. And if you zoom out even further, imagine if this whole place was a city, and if you had only just 2 to 4 interchanges, just how much traffic would be going through those. This way you have the ability to get a lot more traffic where it needs to go, and have the ability to get off the highway and onto the highway much closer to the origin of that vehicle, and that pretty much makes it far easier to manage the traffic when it has shorter routes, rather than having these long routes through the city and over to the exchange to get to the highway. So like I said, you can use what I've made available in the workshop. I will put a link in the description, but I showed you how to do it manually, and there. I hope you're going to find this useful. I can show you this in the smaller city, but I'm afraid I've made this video far too long anyway. But I can make another video if you need to watch and have more practice with this. So I can make this in my smaller city, and you can watch how to make this happen in a smaller area. But I think I've showed you pretty much how to do this, and with my finished product in the workshop, I think you're going to find this very easy, and I hope you're going to test it out and see just how valuable building a city with no interchange but actually having an interchange everywhere is going to help your traffic flow. Thank you all for watching, and please stay tuned for more videos.